Hi, Dr. Phil. My name is Lisa, and I'm responding to your clip. Dr. Phil, please make me a star in my own life. So, getting to the part where I want to be a star in my own life, actually, I want to tweak that a little bit, and I would like for you to help me be a star in the eyes of my children. At this point, have a relationship with any of my 3 children. I've always had low self-esteem, so that started my downhill slide and circling the drain, as you might say, for trying to have people fulfill my life and to make me happy. It seems like I could never make myself happy, that I was always, now don't get me wrong, in high school I was the class clown. Even after I got out of high school, outwardly I always looked happy. I was the jokester, always making other people try to laugh and make their life an easier place to be. I am a retired nurse after 30 years, and then went into cosmetology, and I have done that for 2 years now, but really have not done much of that either, because a point in my life my parents began to get ill. First was my mother, and she died a year ago, last February, never having seen her 3 grandchildren. I've never seen my grandchildren. These would be her great-grandchildren. Of course, she never saw her grandchildren either, but moving right along, Mom did die never having seen her great-grandchildren, and that saddened her. And to make her life as happy as I possibly could, I began to more earnestly try to mend my relationship with my 3 children so she could see her great-grandchildren and her grandchildren. But that never happened. Like I said, she died a year ago, February. My husband and I still live with my dad, and he's not in good health himself. Things have always been rocky because, for one thing, my eldest son said that I always chose men and to be with men as a partner before my children, always put my partner before my children, and it has been so, I can't even get to it on this short tape because it's so complex, just like the layers of an onion. I can't possibly tell you why I made the choices that I did in this short of time, but like I said, we never had a really wonderful relationship, but by 2006, I had remarried a man of God who I was told was a man of God, who told me he was a man of God. He was in seminary at the time that we met, and then he became the pastor of a small Southern Baptist church, and he had been for 8 years. We had challenging times. At the time, it was just me, my husband, and our daughter. He did adopt her when she was 5 years old, and I knew that he was very controlling and very he held the reins tight on me. Wanted to know who I was with, how long I was with them, where did I go. Like I said, I'm a nurse, and he came in the back door of where I worked, in the doctor's office where I worked, for a very sweet physician, and he never said hi, bye, whatever. He knew when I got my check, and as soon as it was check day, he was at the back door. I handed it over to him, and he took it to do whatever. I never knew till years after how many bank accounts he had. I was just always trusting, just to the very core of me, to my detriment, and to the detriment of my daughter, unfortunately. In 2006, my husband was arrested in our living room for having raped my daughter from the ages of 12 through 16. Well, for 3 days, I did not know if my daughter was alive or dead, and still all the while, he was not worried. He did not even want me to go to the police station. And I thought that was odd, and I threw a fit, and we went anyway. I said, "You don't have to go, but I'm going to go." I noticed that nothing was going out of her room except for her telephone, and I called, and it went straight to voicemail. Her messages that you wouldn't believe, that I thought that she might contrive that I could forgive her. I was saying, if you're pregnant, I don't care, come home, call me. If you're in love with another woman, please call me, I don't care. I left her messages of things that would be unfathomable. But the one message I never left her phone was, "If your dad is raping you, call me, I love you." My oldest son, when he was 30 years old, had not been speaking to me for a year. And at this age, at age 30, he told me that he had light years of anger to get out at me. And so I said, "You tell me where to be and I'll be there. I won't interrupt you. I'll let you talk." And he said, "Well, we'll see about that." So I met at the place where he told me to meet him, and I knew it wasn't a good sign. I saw that he was carrying with him his abnormal psychology book. He had run off from his computer. He was in school at the time, and he had told me when he was talking to me, when he started school, that he was going to be better than Dr. Phil ever thought about being. And I said, "I hope you do well. If that's what you want, I hope the best for you." But to get back to my story, he had his abnormal psychology book, and he pulled out a bunch of papers that he had gotten from his abnormal psychology book and his computer, and he said, "Mom, I want you to read this and see if you don't agree with me on this." And he had diagnosed me with narcissistic personality disorder, and at the time I was in cosmetology school. Of course, you know, at our station we have mirrors. Everybody has their own mirrors, so we can tell how to cut the person's hair, make sure it's even, so forth. And he said, "So see, Mom, you're in the right now. You're surrounded by mirrors." But he told me at that meeting, and like I said, he was 30 years old, that one time when he was in 3rd grade, he let me, or I made him wear the same shirt to school twice in a row, and his friends made fun of him. And apparently that made a mark on him that is indelible. Phil, I so need your help. I beg of you to please help me. I want to be the mother that these children deserve, that the grandmother that these grandchildren deserve. I want my children to understand that I know I made mistakes, and they have the ability to just cut me out of their life. I don't have that ability. I don't have that I can just take someone out of my life. And my father sees me crying, and my husband sees me crying, and they both give me the advice, just forget it. Just forget it. Drop it. Just forget about them. I can't do that, Dr. Phil. I cannot do it. I've tried. A mother's heart just does not let that go. So if there is a way, any way, that you can make me a star, if you can just give a slight twinkle in the eyes of my children for their mother, I would be forever, forever grateful to you. I thank you so much for listening to this tape ramble on. Like I said, it goes so deep, and there are so many other things. We need your help. I may not know it, but I know that we as a family need your help. Thank you for listening.